If all goes according to plan, the nation's electoral system may be set for a major paradigm shift in the future. Last week, a bill for further amendment of the Electoral Act scaled second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, which is sponsored by Honorable Francis Wave, proposes among other things, that the general elections be conducted on the same day. According to the lawmakers, this is aimed at saving money and time for the country, as well as prevent the bandwagon effect. The amendment also seeks to make electronic transmission of results compulsory. What difference will all this make in meeting the desire of Nigerians to have a more transparent and credible electoral process? So joining us live from our Abuja studio to discuss this is Channels Television's political affairs analyst, Mr. Laolu Akonde. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Well, it's great to have you. We're doing very well. Well, let's start off by looking at this latest development. All elections, from the local, state, down to the federal level, in one day, all in one day. What's your reaction on this?
Well, I think that it's going to be an innovative adoption, an idea, because if you look at least all the way back to the Second Republic and the Third Republic up to the Fourth Republic, I don't think that we've had all the elections in one day. As a matter of fact, in the Second Republic, we had the presidential elections came first, and the national elections, and then, some weeks after you had the gubernatorial. Now, in the Third Republic, it was something similar. As a matter of fact, you had years, almost 1 year difference between 1992, when the governors were elected, and 1993, when we had the famous presidential election. So if this is going to take place, it will be very unique in our history. But I think that there are very good points, quite a bit of advantage. First of all, it reduces the cost of the whole election. Secondly, it's possibly going to be more convenient for the voters, and maybe that can even help get more of the people in the electorate to vote. And then, of course, there's also the collateral that is avoided, because then, people can do other things. They don't have to wait for 2 months to suspend economic activities, at times academic activities, social activities. So that if you have it in one day, you can avoid reduction of economic activities and other things. So those are the strong points in favor of holding the elections in one day. But the big problem is the logistic challenge that this is going to incur, especially on the part of INEC itself and the security agencies. So if you look at the balance of it, if INEC and the security agencies are able to deliver properly, if they're able to manage the terrain and the geographical issues, then it might be something that is worthwhile for us to try, especially because more voters may actually be involved.
All right, so speaking about, how making the elections come on the same day, you've talked about logistics, and I was going to ask you how practicable that will be. But, they've talked about, the National Assembly have talked about saving money and indeed time. And for INEC, you would expect that that will be a challenge. How do you think they will get over that, in terms of saving money and, of course, time, since we'll have been these elections in one day? And how practicable really is it?
Yeah, so I will really think that it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge for INEC and the security agencies, for the simple reason that, like I said, we haven't done this in a long time in our history. Go all the way back to 1979. We've never had all the elections, at least judging from 1979, in one day. So you've always had a situation where the national elections are held this week, and then the state elections are held some other time. So I think that might bring a challenge to the security agencies, might be a challenge to INEC itself. So those are the things that we need to look at. But like I said, to the extent that it might help more of the voters if they know that it's just one day, like it is done in other countries, even in Africa or other democracies in the Western world. Everybody knows, for instance, in the US, that there is a Tuesday, in November when the elections are going to hold. So that can help get the people out. But we really, really have to depend on the preparation and the ability of INEC and the security agencies to be able to get all these things done in one day. It is very practicable, and I think it's a novel idea that we should explore.
Which brings me to the question of technology. I mean, we can not whisk away that aspect, and perhaps technology can play a key role in what you've been talking about, especially the electronic transmission of results, which the amendment, as we understand, seeks to make compulsory. What's your reaction about that? Is that going to be something that we can really hold on to?
Yes. So just like is generally the case, technology does have the ability to make difficult things easier. So I imagine that if we have electronic transmission of results, that might reduce some of the logistic challenges of having to have collation centers here and there, and the movement of materials from one place to the other. So technology will be an advantage that can actually make this happen. However, the flip side of that is that the infrastructure for the technology has to be top-notch, so that we don't have a repeat of a situation where, like we had in February last year, when you had to deal with a situation where what was promised could not be delivered. So we have to be sure that the technological infrastructure is in place. But all told, technology can actually facilitate us having election in one day. And like I said, this is a novel idea that we should explore as a people.
Mr. Laolu Akonde, Channel's political affairs analyst, we thank you so much for your thoughts on the news today.